I have been a close observer of geopolitics for a very long time, and I've been told by people in the intelligence and military for 2 years at least now that the end goal of the countries who frankly hate the West is to cripple us. And one of the ways they want to do this is by essentially making sure that most of the stuff the world takes from A to B can't get there.
Yeah.
That means attacking cargo ships, and that spells big trouble for our economy and big trouble for keeping the lights on this winter.
Hugely, Alex. I think this is the big problem we don't understand, the link between military and trade, because it is huge. And we've seen disruption in trade over the years with whether it's COVID or whether it's been, something stuck in the Suez Canal. When that happens, it pushes prices up, it creates instability. And I think there has to be a clearer link where we have the defence involved in ensuring trade links are open. And I do think the Houthi rebels are going to not stop until they've been able to disrupt that entirely. And I'm glad that the UK and the US have been able to take action on it.
Well, you two have been very erudite about this alarming situation. I'll reduce it to football hooligan terms. It's all kicking off, isn't it? Now, this has been building up for some time. The West cannot allow them to block the Suez Canal. As of now, they effectively are, these Houthi rebels, because most cargo companies are now sending their ships on I think it's a 3,000 to 5,000 mile detour around the south of Africa. And that is going to cost us a lot of money. The Houthi rebels, we're seeing them there. I mean, they're not a bunch of idiots, so they're quite a sophisticated force. This is going to come to a head pretty soon. And as I said earlier, it's not an exaggeration to say if we're not careful, we've got the seeds of World War III on our hands here.
It feels like it, and it's quite a worrying time because you look at different areas of the globe and there are conflict areas, there are tension areas throughout, whether that's in Russia and Ukraine, whether that's in China and Taiwan, or in the Middle East, as we're seeing here, Israel, Gaza, as well as this issue. And I do think that there is conflict points around the world. And I just got back from America last week, and their reverence for the military, I think, is something that we in this country could learn from. I think we have to ensure that we're spending money on the military. We respect the military because we don't know when we're going to need them. Hopefully never. But if we have got them, that they are there to do their job.
How do we dispel this? What can we do? Other than all-out military conflict?
I can answer you that.
Yeah, well, you.
I mean, this is a result, and I'd be interested in if you agree, of completely myopic foreign policy now that's gone past successive governments. Because if you follow the money and you talk about sort of trigger points and flashpoints around the world, what we saw in February last year was joint naval exercises between China, Russia and South Africa, which is now where these boats are having to be diverted around. What we also know is for decades now, China has been using investments to now seize control of largely maritime bases all around the coastlines of Africa, Sri Lanka and so forth. And so what we need to do, frankly, in the West is grow up, wake up and realise that these are acts of grey zone warfare, and we've got to get smarter when it comes to our geopolitical relationships.
We do. I'm going to quote my favourite president, Ronald Reagan, who said, peace through strength. And I think that's what's been missing over the years, certainly on the world stage, is where we've seen a retreat of military organisations, military spending in particular, where we've essentially let China and Russia take over those geopolitical relationships, create relationships with the likes of Africa and other countries who are still developing, able to fund their infrastructure so that they essentially have a stake in those economies. And we, the West, have been left to let them take prominence on the world stage. And I think that's very worrying for us in the liberal West because we want to see a free world.
Strength through power, peace.
Peace
through strength.
And
That's good.
common sense.